Good day, my name is Emmanuel, and we continue on Introduction to Microsoft Office Suite MS Word precisely. Okay, now back to our outline for today. We are treating the layout and the printing preferences. Okay, now let's start with the layout. Of course, you should have your Word application open. Now, for you to check out the page layout or to modify it, we come to this interface with page layout. Now from the page layout, there are a variety of things that you can get done. You can adjust the margin. This is a normal margin, just as you can see it with this boundary on the screen. This happens to be narrow, this is moderate, and so on. And then you can also change your page orientation. You can make it a landscape switched, and also you can leave it as a portrait. Also, you can change the size. This happens to be a letter size. You can change it to A4 size, you can change it to A5, you can change it to whichever you prefer. And also we have the columns. The columns, what the columns does is that by default your column is 1, but then you can make it 2. Now when you make it 2, what it helps you do is that it helps you make your text, whatsoever you are typing, side by side, much like you have 2 columns on a page. Now let's have something save me. Save me is likely a sentence, of course it is. Okay, now instead of going down to the next page, is moving to the right side, still on the same page. Let's have completely. Alright, those are words popping in my head. Alright, so instead of going down, it's moved to the next page. That's the work of colon. And if you made it triple colon, you can still continue. You see it being partitioned. Instead of going to the next page, it goes up again and help me. Alright, I believe you understand how to use your colon. Also, we have the break, we have the line numbering. I believe we come to all of this in the other outline. Now let's come back to a single colon. That's the normal way of typing. Okay, now moving to our outline, it says printing document. Now for you to print a document, let's see all we can learn about printing a document. We have to come to this interface, the menu there called file, and then we come down to print. Okay, over here we see, okay, on here we see the printers connected, and you can add a printer here, and also here you can give settings, number of page, the page you want to print, precise page you want to print, and so on. And then you click this to print. This shows the number of copies to be printed. I believe you got that. Now moving back to our outline, we are talking about breaks, talking about okay, now let's see how a break works. Now in a document whereby there are 2 pages, what a break does is that in between the document, you see this gap, that is where the break is. So you can choose to remove it by double clicking on it. See, it's gone. So when you type, it looks like you are still typing normally, like it's just a scroll, you understand, not like a break. And if you want to get rid of that, you just put your cursor in between, wait for this icon to be displayed, and double click again for it to split it. I believe you grab that. Alright, so moving to the next, we have the column. I think I explained the column, the side by side kind of writing. Okay, and then we have the header and the footer. Now for you to use the header and the footer, while we were explaining the margin, we mentioned that there is a portion in this is a portion within the margin and a portion outside of the margin. Now the top part, which is this part, is where the header comes in. How do I get that done? You can double click and then have whatsoever you want to type there, um help, and then double click on the page again. You see the difference? The letter is somewhat blood. Is it blood? No, it is just gray like. And what you have to understand is that if you're adding an header or you're adding a footer, it appears on all the documents. So once we've done something that is defined to all the documents, me, I'm just writing anything. The same thing is somewhat gray like. Now another way to add your header and your footer is to come to the insert tab up here and then click on header, then you set and move to the next thing to be done. Not to waste our time, let's move to the next item. Okay, the next thing here is page numbers, and then we are done for this tutorial. Now for you to add your page number, you have to come to insert, and from insert you come to page number. Now here are the subfunctions. We can add a page at the top, just as you can see it, or to the right. You can add a page numbering to the bottom, just as you can see it to the right, and then you can add it in the margin, so it can be on the right, it can be on the left, based on whatsoever you want in mind. And you can add it in a position you desire for yourself. You can put it at the center and so on. And over here we can format the page numbering. You can make it 1 2 3, you understand? You can make it 1 2 3, you can make it ABCD, you can make it I, and you can even add your own kind, your precise, everybody have their own kind of numbering. It could be your language numbering, don't mind me, that was a joke. Of course, I believe the O was helpful. I believe you were helpful. We've covered what we have for this morning. So thank you for watching. I believe it was helpful. God bless.